is Tresha Heath.
Hey everybody, thanks for having me.
You're welcome, you're welcome. So we have questions, lots of questions, which we'll have time for some viewer questions to come in, but we might as well start with the gold standard rigmarole.
All right.
But I was told you have a connection with the Multimedia Makeup Academy. That's a good place to start.
Yeah, I do actually. It's one of the reasons I'm excited to be here today. I was actually opening one of my accounts in the region for my company, Make Me Makeup, and another custom blend company that I work with, Giella Custom Blend Cosmetics. And I was hosting interviews, and one of the women that came in to interview with us was from the Multimedia Makeup Academy.
For a former student?
Former student, Caressa Jane Johnson, if I'm allowed to say your name. I hope so.
I'm sure she's not going to have any kind of problem.
Yeah, and so I knew immediately there was something that set her apart from the other people that we were interviewing. And it was kind of ironic, actually, because we got through the interview and I liked all of her answers. And with everyone else, one of my first questions was, can I see some of your work? And so I talked to Caressa, and literally at the end of the interview, she was kind of like, well, do you want to see any of my work? And I'm like, I'll look at some now, but I know this is going to work out. So, and it proved to be an amazing experience. You can tell that what's going on here as far as education level is, really resonating when the students come out of the program. Caressa, her knowledge of color theory was pretty expansive and amazing. My company's not an easy thing to necessarily tackle. You have to understand color theory, and sanitation was a big thing that we were looking at. So those are two of the really important things that I found in her.
Well, with Make Me Makeup being so, that's a good way to lead into to Make Me Makeup with color theory and how intensive that sounds like Make Me Makeup's going to be with involving color theory. You want to tell us a little bit about your new projects going on, or would you prefer to start talking about your career leading up to that first?
Whatever we think.
I guess we can do whatever we want.
I know. We can do anything we want. We can start if you want to talk about my career and kind of how I got into Make Me Makeup, because my career played a big role. My career as a freelance makeup artist played a big role in why this company came to market. So people, I think, too, they wonder, I know one of the questions that we wanted to go over was, how did I kind of get started in the industry, and kind of what has my experience been? And really, by the time I was 14 years old, I knew what I wanted to do. I was used by a local salon as a hair model. And when I got backstage for the actual hair show, I saw all of the women, doing hair, playing with makeup, and they were all making money at it and loving their career. And I knew at that point in my life that I was an artist, but I couldn't see myself sitting in a cubicle doing graphic art, and I definitely didn't want to starve, and my family didn't want me to be a starving artist.
Yeah, oil painting's not the most profitable thing these days.
No. And so at that point, because I'm a lot older than a lot of people think I am, when I started, there weren't really schools for just makeup other than what you're involved in, special effects. There were those type of schools, and so I went to a traditional cosmetology school, but with my focus being, my goal was always to do the cover of Vogue and see my work on the cover of Vogue. That was, what I wanted to achieve in my career as a makeup artist, so we started there.
That's a good place to aspire to be.
Yeah, I know. I do runway shows. And so I actually started working, and when I started working, it's amazing what technology, like this live stream, has done for makeup artists and creatives, just for promotional purposes and getting yourself known in the industry. When I started, there were not even cell phones. So I'll never forget the first day that my very first agent handed me a beeper. I didn't even know what that was. So, we really, started with no Photoshop and going out and meeting photographers, knocking down doors, pounding the pavement, as they call it, to meet photographers and to work with agencies to find aspiring models that I could practice my trade on. So I really started the old-fashioned way.
The old-fashioned way still are still applicable.
It still works.
I mean, was there any specific method to beating down doors and finding fashion photographers? I mean, granted, you can hound them on social media, but everyone's hounding them on social media. Maybe it's the time to swing back to those methods.
I mean, I think in any business, finding diverse points of entry is, your easiest method. So I think, going out and getting involved in actual events, working at charity events, you can go to the modeling agencies, go in, say, I'm an aspiring makeup artist. I'd love to shoot some of your models. Do you have any photographers that your girls are working with? And try and make, connections. That'd be quote unquote the old fashioned ways. Show up at an agency.
Put a face to the profile.
Yeah, exactly. Try and schedule an appointment. And, but yeah, I think, and just being involved in anything you can find locally in your community within your interest. If you're a makeup artist looking to work in theater, get in there. Just, you might not start with makeup, but take tickets at the door. Be around, what you love. And find some way, point of entry where people kind of trust you, and then they'll, be willing to work with you.
Just diversify, not just across the makeup field, but within the specific makeup industries that you're looking to be a part of.
Yes. Yeah.
So, did you have any levels of that kind of diversity? You said you jumped through, you kind of saw people doing it and knew that's what you wanted to do. Did you play into any ways like that where you took odd jobs around side to kind of get to meet the right people within, say, a theater company or a backstage area?
Sure. I mean, definitely volunteering in anything theater that I could get in with. Musically, I would constantly do makeup for bands and to get kind of into, to break into the music industry. I mean, the amount of funny odd jobs I did just to survive as a makeup artist. So I actually utilized all of my aesthetics and massage practices that we, garnered in cosmetology school. And my first year in South Beach, I would actually go and shoot all day because people don't realize that when you're starting to get bigger jobs, you have to do free jobs, free editorial jobs for magazines. People would think that the cover of Vogue pays thousands of dollars. It might pay $75, So, I mean, my Marie Claire covers were free, but you have a Marie Claire cover, and so I would consistently meet up with everyone on set and pass out cards that I did, massages, off-site after work. I would cut people's hair after work, and so that would help me
just network with them.
Yeah, different people, and somebody would tell another director that this girl is giving these great massages, blah blah blah, therapeutic massages, and so then that would be another point of entry where then somebody would actually look at my portfolio. So it's networking. You never know where one thing's going to lead.
Again, the old-fashioned pound pavement way.
Yeah,
the way that works the best.
Yeah.
So after all the pound pavement, how did that career path take you? I'm told you went to some pretty high heights and worked with a lot of people. I'm told. I don't know the ins and outs, but
yeah. I think basically once you start building a portfolio, which is, even though today it's everything's online, you have to show that portfolio. And for me, the next steps once I started working with photographers and getting a body of work together was going out and trying my hand at securing an agent. A lot of makeup artists freelance. I knew from the beginning that I wanted an agent promoting me and kind of handling all of my quote unquote social media and public relations. And so, you knock on a door, they might tell you you're not ready. You go back out, you do some more work, you hone your skills in, you go knock on the door again. And I think that's one of the most important things in this industry is understanding rejection. And that it's not necessarily rejection. You can't take it as that. I always looked at it as, okay, well, I wasn't, the right match with this person, or my work's not there. Let's go get my skill set up higher. And so, fortunately, at a young age, people knew I was a go-getter. and, gave me a break. It was one of the smaller agencies. You don't sign with the biggest agency immediately. And, you start with things like Family Dollar circulars, and you do makeup for Montgomery Ward's or J.C. Penney, and that's where you actually get to practice, is working on like those catalog shoots. And for me, those catalog shoots and those advertising campaigns that were, kind of not your luxury brands, were where I learned my skills, and they turned into Saks Fifth Avenue, and they turned into Bloomingdale's, and those were then, ads were run in Bazaar magazine, Harper's Bazaar, and so, I kind of worked my way up the catalog circuit, and you build a nice portfolio. More, advertising clients will trust you, and for me, my biggest break was when I actually worked with my first celebrity, which was Michael Jordan. And so, to this day, that's still like my favorite client and my most memorable moment in the industry, because that was a big turning point for me. Once, that came out, that magazine cover came out, I was kind of immediately accepted as, okay, she's arrived, we can trust her if she handled, this. And people think makeup is women, 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 but when you're working as a professional, it's, you want to say 50% skill, but so much of it is, how did I perform on set? Am I professional? Is she easy to work with? Does she work in a timely, fashion? Is she humble? And so, for me, I was like, okay, we did this.
Great hearing you say that, because we push that a lot here, talking to everybody. But we just got a note that the creaks in our chairs are a bit loud.
Don't do it. Okay, we're going to sit really still. Nobody move. Okay.
Sorry about that. We've got ants in our pants over here. Well, let's see. Let's go back to our structured questions now.
Okay. You might have answered all of them. No teasing.
We're just casually rolling through content. If you had to do one thing over again in your career, if given the opportunity, what would it be?
I mean, that's a funny one. For me, I'm a chatterbox, and so talking has gotten me in trouble in many areas of my life. So one, I would say talking less on set. Keep the personal chit-chat to a minimum. And then I think a really important one that relates to this scene right now is I really encourage makeup artists. You think you're behind the scenes, and for the most part you are, but there are going to be, as you grow as a makeup artist, you become, an advisor, an endorser, an ambassador. And so the one thing that I kind of wish that I did was take some acting classes or public speaking classes, so that things like this wouldn't be so nerve-wracking.
Oh, this isn't nerve-wracking.
No,
Are we making you nervous?
No.
Oh, we just creaked the chairs again.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well, we covered a lot. We can keep covering stuff, but let's get to your new business venture, and then we can swing back to casual chit chat.
Okay.
Well, not that your business venture has to be casual,
really
but
formal chit chat. No,
but that can get me out of the creek.
Fundraising.
It gets me out of the creek chair,
Okay.
where I think I'm the biggest culprit of it. So I'll just stand.
And I'll do a little lead-in. So basically, working as a celebrity makeup artist, and I think every makeup artist know, there's great colors out there that are what we call ready-to-wear colors that are created by a cosmetic company. But makeup artists often, we have so many different people in our chairs, and we always realize that there isn't one red for everyone. And as a makeup artist, I was constantly taking like 3 lipsticks and smashing them together to get the color I wanted. And I was amazingly fortunate enough to meet the pioneer of Custom Blend Cosmetics, which is Giella Custom Blend Cosmetics. And we worked together. I fell in love with what her company was about. She is a high-end luxury custom blend cosmetics line.
How'd you get involved? How'd you meet her?
I did a lot of events for, like, where I would be a guest artist, where I would go in for, you work with celebrities and models, and then there's your, I guess you call them your regular people, but they're not regular, they're awesome clients. And so I would go to different accounts, different salons, and different charity events, and I would actually do makeovers for people. and her line was actually carried at one of the accounts that I went to do an event. And so we got to know each other and started working together. And I said to her, I'm like, this is amazing, and we need a blending box for celebrity makeup artists. And so that's one of the first things we worked on together, was creating a box that kind of had all of the products that a makeup artist would need to custom blend whatever they wanted on set. So it solved a lot of problems. You're using a lot less makeup, I could make anything I wanted, and so
carrying a lot less makeup, and that's
carrying a lot
another
less. Yes,
huge-
photographers say they've never seen anybody come with a smaller kit than I come with to set, and can do so much with it. So we worked together. I worked with Jill as an ambassador. I helped open accounts. We trained accounts. We implemented it, and so I realized that, well, it's an amazing business. It was going to be a long time before these counters were accessible to women across the world. And so I, of course, I'm always thinking I'm a serial entrepreneur. I had a skincare line that I brought to market before this. I was sitting having coffee one morning, and I was like, how can I get custom blend cosmetics to the mass markets? And of course, this is when, the age of apps. Everybody was making an app. It was kind of at the height of it a few years ago, and I said to myself, well, if I only had an app that women could custom blend their own cosmetics on, it'd be amazing. Anybody in the world can do it. And so that's where Make Me Makeup was born. Giella and I partnered together to create the Make Me Makeup app, which you guys will see today. This is actually kind of our beta version, or we like to call it our MVP, which is minimal viable product. So I basically took my own resources and got as far as I could, so it's kind of the tip of the iceberg. And we took this app to market. We did several pop-ups to test it, open kiosks at malls, and even though it was our test market app, we got a lot of traction. People really like it. They host lip bars now, at parties, bachelorette parties, birthday parties, and people actually download the app and make product on the app all the time, and we fill the orders.
Fun.
Yes. So
any particular test markets that really stuck out?
It's funny because when you start a cosmetic business, all businesses have a life of their own. And when I started this business, I thought for sure it's going to be the 25-year-old crowd, that's going to glom onto this. And so actually the one market that stood out was kind of the tweens. They love it, and they're really into tech, and they love playing with it. It's kind of like a game for them. And then we do also, that's kind of more of our online market right now, is younger than I thought.
Being able to establish your own signature color. I mean, in the age that we were commenting on social media, it's a matter of you're creating your own profile now through your own lip color.
And customization. And so, so it's awesome. And I can show you a little bit how this app works. And we'll create a color here today. Let me get that guy there, and I'll get one of these. And hopefully you guys can see this online when I come up. So basically anybody can go.
I can switch this so we can actually, you can see.
There we go. So you can go to the App Store, and you can download the Make Me Makeup app. And basically, you click on Start Designing, and you can go in Landscape or Portrait mode. Woo! And the first thing that you do with all custom blend cosmetics is we're going to match our skin tone. And I can show you in Portrait. So we have several skins that you can choose from. This is basically my skin tone. And from here, you can go through different categories like gloss colors, shimmers, sparks, glitter, flavor, and you can start customizing your own color. So I can either do a base color or not, but I'm going to start with crystal clear. We're going to swipe through until I see something that I love on my skin tone. Let's say I love that guy, but I really want him to have a gold spark to him. I can go in through the different selections. I can have a little spark, or I can add a ton of sparks. And once I love my product, I can also flavor it. There's a bunch of yummy flavors. At our points of retail, you can create your own signature cocktail of flavors. And then I basically can go in, I name my design, and then I purchase it. And so I'm going to program a color today. Once you purchase it, we actually make it at our lab and ship it out within 24 hours to your doorstep. And then I'll do a reset here.
So is this something that's available with the app now, not
Yeah.
just in the test markets?
Yep, this is available on the app. We're functioning. It was meant to be basically a proof of concept beta test, but it functions, it works, people like it. We use it at our parties. We have iPads docked where people come up, they make their product, and we mix it right on demand in about a minute and pour it, and I'll show you mixing one. Today I'm going to do one of my favorite colors, and there's actually one other cool thing I'll show you is our ready-to-wear designs. We do these for charities and for different personalities, so you can create your own product. And so this is our Detroit color, since we're in the Motor City. That's the Motor City color. And basically, this is something we're working on now, so anybody who would purchase this color, it's a ready-to-wear design designed for Detroit, and we would basically give a proceed back to the city. So, yeah, we have one for hospice in Northwest Ohio now that's kind of amazing. And then basically, I'm going to program my favorite color for spring. You can see there's tons of colors you can go through, which is awesome. This guy is our #1 seller right now, and I'm going to put some gold sparks in him. And there we go.
So for those of our viewers who might be wanting to play around with this as we're talking, is the app is just called Make Me Makeup?
Make Me Makeup. And I think it's in the lifestyle. I hope it's in the lifestyle. And like I said, this is the tip of the iceberg. On our next round of development, you will actually be able to program your own color, and we will be offering a full line of custom blend cosmetics. So we started with lips because we knew we could conquer the lips, and we've been in development. We developed this, and then we've been back in development for about the last year and a half. So we're getting close to market, and the beautiful thing is we'll be able to revolutionize not only through Make Me Makeup, but the entire cosmetics industry. So basically, your color came into the lab. If you guys can see it. It gets hand mixed at our lab. Everything we're completely natural. We're a clean company. We're PETA approved. I hope I said that right. And basically then once your product is mixed, and this is the way it happens at our point of retails as well, you can flavor it, which is really cute. This one I'm going to put some peppermint pop into it. So now you have a beautiful peppermint purple for spring with a little spark to it. Once the product's made, it gets hand poured. I hope you guys can see this.
And those of you who are signed into YouTube through Gmail can right now put in questions live if you were unaware. If there are any singular questions having to do with the Make Me Makeup line.
Here's your awesome little lip gloss, Make Me Makeup. Woo! It gets capped. And then basically it's ready to ship out. Or you can take it home and you've got your perfect little color that you made. This is really, it does look the same in real life here.
Well, through the video compression, it's going to be difficult to see the color match, but.
And that's kind of how Make Me Makeup works. That is how it works.
Excellent. I don't know. I myself don't wear lipstick all that often, but
well,
but in the level of wanting to reduce the size of my kit, everything you're doing
is awesome, right? And then we at our lip bars, we do offer Build-A-Boy Balm, we call them.
Okay. And
so men come up. It's kind of ironic. Like I've done a few different pitch competitions where it's all men, but somehow we sell 43 lip balms. They really get into it. They also like to make things for their wife. And then one really cool thing that we just launched is Give the Gift a Custom. So you can actually go onto Give MMM. We'll post that later. And you can purchase an empty lip tube. It gets shipped to your gift recipient. and then they can download the app and redeem it with a token. And so it's really, I mean, it's kind of fun to get something empty and then be able
Awesome.
to go and make it on your
Better
own.
than a gift card.
Yeah, it's really fun. We had fun with it during the holiday season this year. So, and that's that.
Well, do we have any questions that have been coming in?
We do. We have a question. As a celebrity makeup artist, are there any celebrities whom you would still like to work with that you haven't as of yet?
That's a good question. People that I love, I'd love to work with Samuel Jackson. That one came to mind. I mean, he seems pretty profound. I love, that one popped up, so that's a good one. I'm trying to think of, I love Sandra Bullock. I think she seems like she'd be really nice. I haven't got to work with her, but she seems like she'd be in my realm of somebody I'd like.
With wanting to work with celebrities, what's making you make those choices? Is it more people that have certain face shapes that you're interested in possibly working on, or just personality types that you may like working with people more than others?
I think it's an important point to make is that you have to start to know your strengths in the industry. We talked earlier a little bit about special effects, and I knew pretty quickly that I wasn't into gore and that I wasn't going to be hanging around like horror movie sets. And I learned pretty young, not even by my own choice, but I spent a lot of time in South Beach. I was the first major stop after I left the Toledo, Detroit area in my teens after high school was Chicago. And you can't shoot in Chicago in the winter. You know, you can't shoot bathing suits. It's freezing. So we would go to South Beach for the season. And, oh no, I just lost my train of thought. What the heck? Oh, why we did it. So basically, a lot of my clients were German clients, like for Marie Claire Shape Magazine, and they require like an extremely natural, clean look. And I realized really quickly that when they were saying too much makeup, I knew how to back it off, and I was kind of mastering the art of beauty makeup, and I was constantly booked for beauty. It was clean makeup. Now, do I do over-the-top makeup at runway shows? Yes. Do I like to do it? Yes, but I knew if you want this to be a career, you have to treat it like a business. And so, you know, at that point, I started kind of pulling out the wacky makeup from my portfolio and really focusing on one kind of target audience, which was beauty. And so I think for me, for celebrities, it's, you know, kind of natural beauties. You know, it's not over the top glamour makeup. I love, you know what I mean? So red carpet makeup was kind of like a goal of mine. And then for me, I think it's personality and kind of, I noticed that your karma in the industry, you know, if you want to do over the top runway makeup, and you start doing that, you'll kind of start drawing that crowd to you. So
Just people getting known by what you do and
moving
forward.
Yeah. And so more like-minded people, you know, that were kind of, for me, humble, ego-free, really understood that this isn't what they are. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of ego in the industry. I tend to work with people who recognize and understand this is what I do for a living, and I'm still a person. So, you know, I think a lot of people think there's so much glitz and glam in Hollywood and in New York, and there is. But at the end of the day, we all go home. We're all humans.
It's all a paycheck.
Yes, it's a paycheck, and we're so blessed and fortunate to actually be able to do it. So, you know, something we love. So, yeah.
Awesome. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have a question from MMA student Taryn Douglas who's watching. She wants to know if the app is currently available for Android. If not, will it be? And she also wanted to say that your idea is brilliant and innovative.
Woo! Thank you. I love you. Now go tell a bunch of awesome investors that for this next round. So Android, no, but we will be available on all platforms with the next round, including web. So that will be amazing. That's kind of our API. That's techie talk. Oh my Lord. I'm like application program interface. I'm like, so we will be able to have it kind of everywhere. So that will be amazing. Yeah.
The text,
The iPad and iPhone for now, it is available on and works.
tech's invading everything. We've just launched our first online course and are in development on 2 more. So just no getting away from it. On
No,
top
you
of
can't hide.
our photography integration and Wacom tablets, and it's not just makeup around here anymore.
No, it's not. You're gonna have to retouch your makeup too. When I started, there wasn't even Photoshop. You girls are so lucky, and men that do makeup. We had to keep it perfect.
Well, let's keep questions going. We have, I'm sure we have more.
Yep. Where do you get your product or makeup inspiration from?
For me, life more than anything. I'm big into nature, and so I think I have to say life. And nature is really where, or a mood. I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to really think on that one. But yeah, I mean, everyday things, inspire me. And colors for me, like colors, the big part of Make Me Makeup, the most important part was that it took me a really large chunk of time and working with the Department of Cosmetic Science and Cosmetic Formulation at UT to develop tonally based colors that looked good on everyone. And so, you're out in nature, colors are always beautiful around everybody, but then I think as humans, we kind of can get in there and mess it up a little bit. And so we really tried to, create things that even if it's the brightest red, it still looks natural and beautiful on the woman that's wearing it, and, to cross all skin tones. And so that was the important part for me. So I think nature's the best. And art is amazing. I love art, and painting is a big one.
How do you locate, kind of like you mentioned, bright reds? Like, is there any kind of process you have for kind of identifying what are those tones that are the extreme tones that exist in nature that work? Like, are you looking for brighter floral colors that exist?
Yes, like our reds. For last season, red was, enormous. Even the last couple of years, red has been like phenomenal. And again, this spring is going to be more candy apple red. And prior to that, like the past 2 years, it has been these colors that are more like geranium. And, they have like this intense kind of coral like undertone in it. And so, yeah, I mean, I kind of put storyboards together and pull different colors. And then of course you always have to look at also the Fashion Council, like what are they saying is, the trend color, and what depth is it going to be. Yeah, when the new reds came out, it was, you went to New York City and all you saw was like these, super bright red lips coming at you down the street. I'm like, well, this is in fashion. Okay. And so, you have to, be a little bit ahead of the game and know kind of what's coming out. And so research your trends, watch Fashion Week, the year before, and even before that, to kind of know and forecast what needs to be in the line.
Yeah, in the theme of knowing and forecasting, before we go to another viewer question, a lot of our students and a lot of our viewers are still starting out, and I don't want to lay off the importance of preparedness, but everyone's in those emergency situations. Do you have any specific go-to brushes, colors, or products that are the kind of things that that you lean towards? Is you obviously don't have huge saving moments to go through anymore. You're prepared, especially with issues and stuff like Make Me Makeup. But any emergency saving staples that you've come across?
Like if you don't have your makeup kit and you need to make somebody look good?
Like, say you had to grab 4 products out of your kit, and that's what you have.
For me, like if it was a beauty shoot, let's say I needed it to do beauty makeup, I would.
Like that, we can create the situation.
Okay, do we need to make a scenario here? No, I mean.
Do you want me to come up with a scenario?
No, I mean the go-tos would have to be a highlighter of some sort, which I equate to a concealer as well, a foundation. So I would probably grab 2 foundations, one super dark and one light, because I could probably get to where I need to by mixing the 2 of them together. Cream blush or some sort of bronzer. and then some sort of emollient lip product, because at least everybody's, lips have a natural color. But if I add a little luster to it, I know they're going to look healthier. So
That's perfect. That's the exact. I saw the fear in your eyes when I asked that question. You're like, what is that? Did I hit this wrong?
Because there has been times where I have not had a makeup kit and I've literally used Vaseline to do somebody's entire face.
Well,
So
that sounds fascinating.
yeah,
Let's talk about that.
I used it as mascara. I coated their eyelashes in it so their eyelashes look better. I used it as a brow groomer. I used it for a glow on their cheek and then to do their lips.
What shoot was that for? You don't want to say.
No. I don't even remember. It was what was available.
All right, that was a perfect answer to that. I don't know. That's the information I was hoping for. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, there's a couple lifesavers out there. You can use that as moisturizer too. So
keep that in your kit.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Add
other
a little dirt to it. You can make a contour.
So we do have another viewer question. Beauty by Carrie Kendra Lee wants to know, how did you start promoting yourself, and was it hard to get starting jobs?
You definitely have to be willing, for me at least, I had to be willing to do whatever I could for money and then really put myself out there on a networking basis. So her question was it hard to get starting jobs?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Not so much difficult. If you put yourself out there and you're open, to anything, like even if it is, I'm doing makeup for prom. You never know when the girl's mom from prom is going to work for an advertising agency. So I say anywhere that you can get your hands in and do makeup, it's okay. But as far as promoting yourself, I definitely networked on my own, and I really utilized my agency then for the bulk of the promotion. They're the ones, your agency kind of becomes your mom and dad and your family, and they, worked with me to, get me out on what we used to call go-sees or rounds, which is going to see, art directors, advertising, agents, photographers, things like that.
And what are there any particular stage in someone's career that you would recommend that they get into dealing with agencies? Is this something that, say, someone on a student level just getting their portfolio together should already be looking into this if they want to be heavy into editorial as you were, or is this something you should be waiting to look at until you've established yourself a slight more?
I think, it's an individual basis. There are people that, for me, right out of school, I was shooting and getting, a good body of work together. And so I didn't wait that long. I probably had like 6 photo shoots in my portfolio, but I knew that the makeup caliber was kind of equivalent to the type of agency I was going to see. So I think an important thing is research the agency that you're interested in seeing, see what caliber. I mean, if that agency, all you see are, covers, major brands that the makeup artists are working for, you can still go approach them as an assistant, set yourself up as, hey, I'm looking to come and assist any of these other makeup artists for free. I am willing to, if you want to go to a modeling agency, do your models for free to help, get them, better body of work. And so, there's really any time, but make sure you're not going in with a weak portfolio saying, I want you to represent me. Take note of where your skill set is, what your, how much work you have under your belt, and position yourself as going in to be an assistant. But you should never be shy, because the worst thing that can happen is a door can close. And you know what I mean? 100 doors might close on you, but one will open. And you have to just keep going, and you're going to get little pieces. One of my mentors told me, you're going to get A, B, and C from me, and you're going to get, E, F, G from this person, and you're going to put them together and make your own alphabet, and you're going to become your own artist. And so every person I've ever worked for, you try to take a lesson from them. And so that's what I mean by being humble. My friends and I still assist each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why not? I
You
don't.
always need help on a job. It's not,
Yeah.
well, not always, but
Yeah, and
A lot of
your
times.
peers, you know what I mean? And so, and I still learn, like from Caressa, from this school, you know what I mean? I've been out there working how many years, but I still learn things, and I told Caressa all the time, I'm like, oh, learn from you, it's good, learn that. She had this cool, you know, eyeliner thing she was using and everything. I'm like, well, that's awesome, let's look at that. And I knew too, there's, you know your strengths. When I said I was a beauty makeup artist, like, you know, all of these wings are in right now. Everybody's got to have eyeliner wings, and you know, am I good at it? It's never been my great forte. Can I pull it off? Yes, Caressa was a natural at it. And so, like, when we would be doing a wedding together, you know, we had a huge wedding to do, and I'd be like, okay, my girl's makeup's done. Will you wing her? And so, you know, and it's like, why not? Like, awesome, thank
rely
you.
on a team mentality.
Yeah. So, and that's really, I mean, a lot of this industry is team. So, you know, and they say there's no I in team. So,
With the relying on your strengths, like, and you had mentioned you would start tailoring your portfolio around doing more natural looks. Is that would you recommend that being the sort of direction that's already been chosen prior to approaching an agency, or do the agencies help you tailor and refine that based on trying to find you work?
well, my agency, yes, they will help you. I mean, they will look through your portfolio. And in my case, there weren't a lot of hair strong people. So as much as I wanted to be a makeup artist, I probably spent the first 4 years to 5 years of my career heavier in hairstyling. Simply because it just, you know what I mean? It was difficult to find somebody that was good at both, but specifically a makeup artist that was hair strong. There's so many great makeup artists, but a lot of them can't do hair. And a lot of times there's not a budget for 2 people to be on set. So for me, it was, she's great at makeup, she does amazing hair, hair. And I was just like, at 4 years, I'm like, can I please quit being the hairstylist? And it was okay, you know, because I wasn't complaining. But then when I started getting more of the beauty covers, then it was like, oh yeah, I finally get to be a makeup artist. And so, I mean, but to this day, if I were out, you know, being booked, I, you know, would still use my strength of that. I know how to style hair on set. So.
Take another question.
Yeah, we have a bunch of questions
Oh boy,
for
okay,
you.
we are
so-
questioned up. We're blowing this off.
We have a question from Carrie Campbell. She said she's very excited about checking out your app. She wants to know if she uses your lipstick on a client and the client would choose to order that lipstick themselves. Would she have all the information on the product or the packaging to say exactly how it was made so the client can refer to that to recreate it?
We actually get a recipe, and so she would name her recipe, and it would be stored with her information, her user information, and so she could just call the order right back in and reorder it for her client.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
I know.
All right.
All right, we have more questions pouring in from MME student Kathleen Berg. Without mentioning names, did you ever have a celebrity who was rude or diva-like?
Yes! That's where karma comes in. Eventually all the bad ones go away. But no, when I was younger, yeah, there was 2 instances. One with a I can't say the name, dang it, a large celebrity, and I mean, we were oil and vinegar. And she clearly didn't want touched by me. And she really wanted her makeup artist from her TV show. And so I think you can handle those things diligently. In that case, I mean, diplomatically. In that case, I went to the editor of the magazine and said, you know, so-and-so is clearly more comfortable with her regular makeup artist. Why don't we see if we can bring somebody else in, you know, the next day? So sometimes you're not a perfect match on set, and sometimes you have to grin and bear it. And so, yeah, my other experience, I was treated very much like the help and not spoken directly to, and that was an interesting one. But luckily, I only had, you know, I think really like those, a handful, I can count 3 experiences that were semi-uncomfortable.
Well, it's unfortunate
Or
that you had
divas.
3, but
Yeah, but I mean, come on, out of like, you know, how many shoots?
Perfect. We actually have another question from Taryn, who's an MMA student. She's actually very interested in creating her own cosmetic brand and beauty page and YouTube, and wanted to know if you had any advice for her.
I think you're in a good school because I know that you guys learn nuts and bolts here of business. I think the two biggest things to remember are if you love being a makeup artist, once you venture into creating a business, you need to be smart about how large of a business you're setting up or what type of a business, because in my case, for instance, I had to take several years off, not just with Make Me Makeup, but with my skincare line to actually be the entrepreneur and the CEO and the president of the company. And so, you know, your love of makeup is still there, but you're actually in business. So what I always recommend is taking some real business courses and see if you're a good fit to run your own business. Also, because that's going to let you know what type of strategic partners you need. If you're not a finance person, if you're not a salesperson, you know that you have to find those people and team up with them early on, you know, in creating the business. So business classes, perseverance, budget well, get ready to sell, you know, lip gloss out of your trunk. No,
Should be mobile, Make Me Makeup.
yeah.
While we continue to field a couple more questions, I'm going to get a note about a technical issue off screen, so I'm going to leave you for a brief moment.
All right.
If we want to continue with a few more questions, I think we have time for.
Yeah, another question we had come in. What has been the biggest challenge in your career?
That's a tough one. Here we go. Biggest challenge. I mean, I think there's not as many challenges now, but being a freelance makeup artist, and I think that's what a lot of makeup artists experience, is how to budget your money wisely and your finances. So I think finances early on were a real juggle. I think the other difficult thing is, you know, once I was in demand and traveling a lot, you do have to give up your family time. So there was no Thanksgiving for me because my, you know, German clients didn't celebrate it and I had to be on set. So, you know, you don't get to come home for Christmas. You don't have Thanksgiving, you know, things like that. So, you know, just some of the, I think, sacrifices maybe is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. So maybe some sacrifices in finances, but, you know, normally the good outweighs all of that. So.
Yeah. And that's almost with anything, sacrifices and, you know, finances. You gotta
Yeah.
finance yourself to get somewhere.
I always tell people, makeup's a business. If you want to be the best lawyer, you have to go to Harvard,
Right.
you know, or Princeton or wherever you're going to law school. And you have to go and do your internship, and you sleep at the office, and you work for, you know, 75 hours a week to become that great lawyer. And so this industry is, you know, just like any other business that you want to climb to the top to. You sacrifice, you scratch your way up, and you make it.
That actually leads into another question that we had. How do you feel formal education has benefited your career?
Formal education. I think a lot of people try and go out and, I think because we're referring to cosmetics education, a lot of people go out and they try and figure things out on their own. But the big thing that I've noticed, like I said, that was important to me that Caressa came with, you know, from the school was sanitation, understanding disease and disorder, having a, you know, a better understanding of what's in products, how they're made, what the pH of products are, you know, color theory. So, and I also think people respect you more when you have some sort of formal education and some certificate saying that, hey, I've actually been trained in this instead of I do makeup, you know, like,
Right.
I'm a makeup artist, but and that's okay. Good, you know what I mean? Good artists come from all different ways, but for me, education, you know, and it gave me a good understanding of business as well.
You had mentioned earlier that regarding one of your mentors, as you were starting off in the industry, did you have a mentor?
No, but I did. When I was 14, the owner of the salon that I was a hair model for was a big push, a big reason why I became a makeup artist and a hairstylist. And he did help me get into, a pretty phenomenal school, and also got me my first jobs at salons, because I did go from cosmetology school to assisting in a couple salons until I was, had enough freelance work to go out on my own. So he was my first mentor. And then really a lot of my clients, and not necessarily like advertising or celebrity clients, but a lot of like personal clients, like let's say I would do, a year-end corporate, photo. Well, I would maybe meet an investor, and she would love her makeup and would chat with me about my business ideas, or, educate me a little. And so a lot of my clients actually became my mentors and helped me along the way with business.
Perfect. A couple more questions we have here. What sets you apart as an artist?
I think for me, I've always, no matter who I'm working with, they have my undivided attention and care, and everybody's just as important as the other person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, I don't know if that falls into being humble. But yeah, I think, knowing that it's my job and not placing as much importance on my ego as how does my client feel, what's the outcome. Those are the things that I recommend to young artists are patience, perseverance, perfection. And so, I always strive for perfection. I'm never going to let a job, undone. Timing is a huge thing. In this industry, the biggest favor you can do yourself is time challenges. Mm-hmm. So I have 5 looks to get done in the next 7 minutes, because hello, welcome to Fashion Week. Because, just when you think you're going to start makeup, then it's time for the walkthrough. Then the hair department grabs your models, and then you've got 7 minutes left to do like this elaborate makeup. And if you don't deliver, you're not getting rehired. So for me, I think I'm killer on timing. I never overpromise. Do you know what I mean? And I don't underdeliver.
Right.
So it's really, that's the biggest thing in this business that's going to get you hired, is making sure your clients, and that's even if you're doing a wedding, you have to project your timing right. That bride, if you tell her she's going to be out at 11, she needs to be out at 11. So you better staff right, or, do your timing challenges, girls. And I used to do that. I would set a timer and say, okay, I've got 3 minutes to create the best hair I can create. And you learn a lot about your skill and your craft and shortcuts doing that.
We have one more question. What is next for Make Me Makeup?
Taking over the cosmetics world. Next for Make Me Makeup will be, we will launch our next round of development, which will have a bunch of bells and whistles. You'll actually be able to dial in your own color. So actually, instead of where we utilized predetermined base colors, you actually will be able to dial in your own color. There'll be a lot more products available on the app. And we just started launching retail locations. So you'll start to see flagship locations pop up. Not tons. It's not our, major thing. The online thing is what we really want to do. But now we've figured out basically the back end of the app development and also the fulfillment and lab issues. We kind of get to marry everything together and bring, the big how to market. So there's a lot more to come, which will be really exciting.
Excellent. And I'm back, by the way. You probably didn't know because we had the technical issue of our video freezing.
It's because we're having the polar vortex, the snow apocalypse here.
But our audio feed's been running the
Detroit.
entire time.
Good.
But that brings us about to the end of our time.
Okay.
Which is sorry about staring at us frozen for
Blame
the
the
last
snowstorm.
15 minutes but, for everyone viewing. But thank you very much, Tresha.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited about Make Me Makeup.
You're gonna be getting the kit.
Anything that makes it so I can carry less makes me
Exactly.
extremely happy. So please join us next time. Our next live stream will be July 22nd at 7 p.m. and we'll try to have the freezing frame issue fixed.
I'd
Like-
say it's the polar vortex.
We won't have any snow then.
No, it'll be summer.
So once again, I'd like to thank Tresha Heath for joining us here and coming all the way here in the middle of a polar vortex
Yeah. Thank you.
to talk with us and with you, listening, not watching anymore, but listening. And please follow us at hashtag MMA Troy on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. We're on every bit of social media you could imagine. And I guess that's us wrapping it up.
Awesome. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you
I'm
very
excited
much.
to be a part of the Academy.